Black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
It looks like Bill Maher has officially made it his full-time job to dismantle woke narratives. And this time, his latest target is none other than Whoopi Goldberg herself. Let's be real. Her ever-growing collection of cringe-worthy statements since 2022 has practically made her an easy target. But instead of just calling her out, Maher absolutely obliterated her, piece by piece, leaving Whoopi scrambling for cover like a cartoon character dodging falling anvils. Now, the real question is, what exactly did Goldberg say that pushed Maher to unleash his unfiltered wrath? And why did the woke brigade completely lose their minds over his brutal clapback? Don't worry, we've got every juicy detail right here. Strap in, because this ride, it's less of a casual drive and more of a full-speed roller coaster with no brakes. 1. 23. To Whoopi Goldberg has officially poked the bear, and now she's feeling the claws of cold, hard truth. And trust me, it's not a pretty sight. Remember our last video when Bill Maher completely wrecked Sunny Hostin for twisting his words in a desperate attempt to score woke points? Well, it looks like the View crew isn't taking that L quietly. This time, Whoopi herself is stepping up, apparently on a mission for revenge, ready to deliver their pound of flesh. Seems like Sunny couldn't handle the heat from Maher's brutal takedown, so she called in reinforcements. Whoopi Goldberg, front and center. And let's just say, she came in swinging, fired up like a contestant on a reality show that nobody even asked for Dar Sutut. 2.10 to Whoopi Goldberg treats the woke playbook like it's her personal Bible. Flip to a random page, build a straw man, and go on the offensive when your argument is collapsing faster than the Titanic. Black Americans want better jobs, a stronger economy, and reasonable policing. Something Bill Maher made crystal clear. Simple enough, right? But instead of engaging with that, Whoopi takes a hard left turn, suddenly talking about electing a former prosecutor with working-class aspirations. How does that connect? It doesn't. Is there a logical thread? Of course not. It's like she's throwing darts blindfolded and praying something lands. Spoiler alert. Bill Maher wasn't having it. Tearing down statues of Lincoln, abolishing the police. None of it makes sense. No, it's not that I've gotten old. It's that your ideas are just plain stupid, Maher fired back. And let's be real. That's a pretty accurate summary of The View these days. The show has basically become the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck. Painful to watch, yet impossible to ignore. Sure, The View has always been known for its combative and, let's face it, shaky takes on just about everything. But thanks to Whoopi and Sunny Hostin, the chaos has hit all new heights. Remember when Charlemagne Thagard dared to step onto The View as a guest? You could practically see the moment he started questioning whether he had stumbled into an alternate reality. 55 to Whoopi Goldberg just poked the bear, and now she's facing the claws of brutal reality. And let's be honest, it's not pretty. Remember when Bill Maher dismantled Sunny Hostin for twisting his words? Well, The View isn't taking that L quietly. This time, Whoopi has stepped up, seemingly on a revenge mission. Sunny couldn't handle the heat, so she called in the cavalry. Whoopi came in hot, ready to rumble like a contestant on a reality show nobody asked for. Flipping through the woke playbook like it's scripture, Whoopi ran the usual play. Create a straw man, go on the offensive, and pray no one notices when your argument collapses. Maher simply pointed out a fact. Black Americans want better jobs, a stable economy, and reasonable policing. Straightforward, right? Not for Whoopi. Instead, she rambled about electing a former prosecutor with aspirations. For the working class, completely unrelated. No logic, just blindfolded darts. Spoiler alert. Maher wasn't buying it. From tearing down Lincoln statues to abolishing the police, these ideas don't just lack common sense, they're outright ridiculous. And Maher didn't mince words. No, it's not that I've gotten old. It's that your ideas are just plain stupid. Brutal, but accurate. And that's why The View has become the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck. Chaotic, painful to watch, yet impossible to look away from. Sure, it's always been known for its fiery, often baseless takes. But thanks to Whoopi and Sunny, the absurdity has reached new heights. Then came Charlemagne the God's infamous visit. You could practically see the moment he realized he had stumbled into an alternate dimension. President Biden, who constantly preaches that no one is above the law, just pardoned his own son, Hunter, after corruption charges. Predictably, outrage followed. How do you reconcile this with a commitment to justice? Unless you're a die-hard Biden supporter, it's like claiming justice is blind while Hunter sits there, metaphorical cookie crumbs all over his face, completely unscathed. Charlemagne pointed out the obvious. If the woke crowd truly believes in equal application of the law, they should be furious. Simple, right? But Whoopi had other plans. I'm going to stop you for a second, she interrupted. Only because you don't know that it was a lie. Really, Whoopi? There's video proof, audio recordings, probably cave paintings confirming Biden's hypocrisy. But sure, let's pretend reality isn't reality. Then came the real kicker. Whoopi insisted Biden might have changed his stance because he was tired of seeing people get away with crimes. Charlemagne was stunned into silence. The problem with the woke mob isn't just their selective outrage, it's their sheer, unapologetic hypocrisy. They're quick to condemn crimes when it suits them, but when one of their own is guilty, suddenly they're hit with a case of convenient amnesia. Since Charlemagne was on The View, Whoopi and company got away with their mental gymnastics, but once Bill Maher caught wind of their antics, he essentially said, "Hold my beer." And what followed was one of the most savage takedowns we've seen in a long time. He exposed how the woke crowd loves to portray themselves as moral authorities, while ignoring their own double standards. Hunter was guilty, plain and simple. Yet, instead of facing consequences like anyone else, he walked away, untouched. If it had been someone else, the mob would be screaming for blood. But because it's one of their own, favoritism trumps justice. And Maher wasn't done. He pointed out something the media won't admit. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election to protect Joe Biden's chances. Even left-leaning journalists have since admitted it. But Whoopi, ever the loyal foot soldier, denied it. You don't know that for a fact. Actually, Whoopi, we do. And Maher made sure to expose it. And that's the issue with The View. They don't debate, they dictate. Whoopi and her panel don't engage in discussions. They bulldoze opposing views with sneers, condescension, and outright dismissal. Maher called it out for what it is, bullying disguised as advocacy. Maher's takedown wasn't just satisfying, it was necessary. More Americans are waking up. They're tired of being guilt-tripped for having common sense, tired of being labeled villains for questioning the woke narrative, and tired of seeing blatant hypocrisy go unchecked. Maher, armed with razor-sharp wit and unflinching logic, dismantled The View's hollow arguments piece by piece. Watching it unfold was like watching a master artist at work, Picasso with a verbal paintbrush. For those wondering if Whoopi got the last laugh, think again. Her attempt to go after Maher backfired spectacularly, and in a twist of irony, she ended up getting yanked from The View right after attacking him. Is it karma? Maybe. Or maybe, as Maher would say, life is just random. Either way, it's comedic gold. In the end, Maher didn't just put the final nail in Whoopi Goldberg's credibility. He built the entire coffin and laughed while doing it. She tried to attack him for daring to think independently, a colossal mistake. Because Maher didn't just push back, he tore apart the hypocrisy of her entire woke echo chamber. And the best part? This takedown wasn't just hilarious. It was a wake-up call. For too long, Whoopi and her crew have gotten away with shutting down real discussions. But Americans are catching on. They're done being silenced. And, thanks to voices like Maher's, the truth is finally cutting through the noise. So, what do you think? Was Maher right to call out The View's hypocrisy? Watch the full segment and decide for yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hard-hitting analysis. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned.